All right, so we're going to start in child's pose. And I want you to make this a really nice floor for yourself. So you can use the props in many ways. You can create a lot of space for your belly, making your knees wide. Hips will come down to your heels. And then if you have no props, you can just go straight down into your child's pose, or you can take a bolster straight out in front of you and turn your head to one side, and I can tell you when to switch. Or you can put blocks in a few different ways. You can put one across your forehead and one in the middle of your chest like a T and fold down like that. Two more options are just blocks in your hands and reaching them forward with your forehead down, or under your armpits, creating some scaffolding. And I'm going to do that because that is giving me the height I need to be a little bit away from the floor, and the scaffolding I need to give my side body some stretch. So my arms are extended. I have the blocks under the armpits. Belly is fitting snug between the thighs, and the hips heavy to the heels. Yeah. Looks good. Angela's got her elbows bent and her palms into a prayer behind her head. If you want to add that shoulder stretch, you can do so. Really nice. And as you're here, just close your eyes. Feel the breath in the back of your body rising and falling, filling up the back lungs with air on the breath in. Everything deflating on the breath out. If your mind is spiraling and it's hard for you to settle the thoughts, I'm going to give you a mantra that you can just repeat in your head over and over again. It's so hum, which just means I am. And I like to say so on the inhale. You can kind of repeat it over and over. You can say it once, however, you can kind of elongate it, and hum on the exhale. And you're just saying I am. It's just reaffirming your place in this here and now moment. So hum. So if you're curious, in my mind, it's on the inhale, it's like so. And on the exhale, it's hum. And I kind of just hold that sound in my mind for the duration of the breath in and out. If your head is turned to one side, you can turn to the other side, just getting a stretch to the even other side of your neck. And if you moved or shifted in any way, just settle back into stillness, come back into your breath, in and out of the nose, pulling from the belly, breathing in, so, breathing out, hum. 5 more breaths here. Take one more breath in and exhale. Reach your arms forward if they're anywhere else. Start to blink your eyes open. And then crawl the hands back to sit up in saddle pose like Virasana for a moment. Just sliding your knees closer together. Bring your palms face up on your thighs. We won't be here too long, but if you want, you can put a block under your pelvis. We'll just take 3 breaths together. So open the mouth and exhale completely. Seal your lips and inhale through the belly. Up wide through the rib cage. Up tall to the collarbones. Hold your breath. And then open the mouth and exhale. Feel free to make noise, release tension. Hold at the bottom. Seal your lips again and inhale belly, ribs, chest. Hold your breath. Open mouth, exhale. And then one last time, sealed lips, inhaling slowly, bottom to top, filling up the back body, filling up the side ribs. Hold your breath. Grab a quick sip of air. Full up, 2 more. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Seal your lips, breathe naturally. Gazing down to the floor, blink your eyes open. And then clear your space and find all fours. You can move your blocks and blankets and bolster out of the way. Just gonna stretch the backs of the legs for a moment, not holding it long since we had the knees folded. So tuck your right toes and pulse forward and back, opening up the back of your knee and your calf and your Achilles tendon. Neck nice and long. And then lower your right knee down, take your left leg back behind you, do the same thing. Opening up the back of your left knee and calf. And then back to all fours. I'm just taking my socks off. And find some really nice and slow cat-cow. So on the inhale, tip the pubic bone forward, drop the belly and lift the chest. Feel the collarbones broaden right to left. And exhale, tuck your 10 toes as you round for cat. So you open up the arches of your feet and you open up the upper back. Inhale, cow pose, point the toes. Start initiation of the movement from your pelvis and then lift the head last. Exhale, tuck the toes, initiate again as the tailbone drops down first, then the bones stack and you dome the upper back. Take 3 more. 2. Breath is nice and even. One more breath in. And exhale. Good. Keep your rounded spine. Point the toes, so you're just relaxing the feet. If you have blocks, now's a good time to put blocks underneath your hands so that you have even more space, but keep this rounded spine. And then that's just going to give you the room to lunge your right foot forward. So we're in a lunge. Got the right knee bent over the right heel. Your left knee is on the floor and your hands are going to stay on the ground. If anything, you can bring them up to your thigh. But for today, we're not lifting the arms. We're not going to bring the energy up like that. We're going to stay in the lower body in yin. So if you're pregnant, you can make more room for the belly just by bringing your hands inside of your foot rather than framing the foot. So either hands inside of or framing the right foot. But keep your knee down and keep your arms on the ground, hands on the ground or on the thigh. Yeah. Josh, you can bring your right heel a little more forward. Just everyone make sure the knee isn't going too far forward of the heel or too far behind it. Yeah. And then press down through both feet. So you're pushing down through the ball of your right foot and the shell of your left foot. Think that the pinky side edge of your left foot pushes down. So you're wrapping the left outer hip forward as you bring the whole pelvis forward. And then you can lift the chest upright, or you can drop your head heavy. You just don't want all of the energy to just be completely collapsed here. So find some middle ground. And this pose, even though it's a yin posture, can be heat inducing. It can be making you shake. It can bring things up. So you might want to bring Ujjayi Pranayama here, inhaling and exhaling through the nose, but like you're trying to fog up a mirror. It's that sound that comes with sealed lips, like you're almost letting steam out of your nose. Add another minute here. Keep finding the balance of the weight in both feet so you don't only feel the heaviness of your pelvis forward, you're also pushing the floor away from you with the feet, almost like you're lifting the pelvis up. Last 3. One more inhale and stay for the exhale. So good. To come out of this, push the hands into the floor, hinge your hips back, and just counter it by straightening your right leg. Ardha Hanumanasana, just for a moment. You can pulse your hips back. The object here is trying to soften through your left thigh. So after all that work you did in the left thigh, you can even drop your elbows to your blocks, relief from the arms. It's another couple of breaths here. One more inhale and exhale. Good. You bend the knee, move the blocks nearby that out of the way, and find your way to all fours again. Take your time. And then in all fours, flip your wrists. So turn your right hand to the right, 180 degrees. Turn your left hand to the left, 180 degrees. So all 10 fingers point towards your knees. And find some more cat-cows, but this time through the lens of a sphere. So still pretty slow in tempo, but making more space as you maybe look up and right and down and left, and your pelvis follows, and you're just watery and moving through the waters of your own body, articulating the spine, arching and rounding. You can even travel forward and back around your wrists. And then keep going, but circle in the other direction that you've been going. And if this is giving you a lot of feedback in your wrists, maybe this is something you should do more often. It's really nice, helps bring the lungs forward so you can breathe deeper, broadens the collarbones. It just turns your arms in that external rotation to rotate the shoulders where you want them to be, and prevents carpal tunnel. Slowly make your way back through center. Gingerly flip your palms forward, plug them back in. Find one normal cow pose, inhaling, tip the pubic bone forward, drop the belly, lift the chest. One normal cat pose. If you want to tuck the toes for a second, you can. And then keep your rounded spine best you can. Find your blocks. Point your toes, and then with this rounded spine just giving you the space, you can lunge your left foot forward. Give it a boost if you need. Make sure your knee is exactly over your heel. Be meticulous about it. That looks good. Your hands are either framing your foot, or if you need a little more room for the abdomen, they go inside of the foot, but they're going to stay down unless you liked bringing the hands up to your thigh. But since we're here for some time, that might be too much. And then settle in. Push down through the ball of your left foot. Push down through the shell of your right foot, especially the pinky side edge, so that you're guiding the right hip forward. And then we counter the balance of going too far or too deep in the pelvis by pushing through the feet to lift the chest upright. So it's almost like you're trying to float away, even though this feels like a really heavy pose. But you can close your eyes, let your head go wherever. Seal your lips, bringing back that Ujjayi Pranayama to release some of that heat, some of that stress, like steam coming out of your nose. It's really helpful though to find the feet. So really push through the ball of your left foot and the pinky side, shell, hard top of your right foot. I just realized this pose is called dragon pose in Yin, and that kind of breath that I'm talking about with the steam out of the nose makes sense here. So we're dragons. About a minute. Where can you soften in the face? Five more breaths. One more breath in. And stay for the breath out. Good. Slowly tuck the right toes. And start to send your hips back, straightening your left leg a little bit. You can bring your elbows down to the blocks. That just feels nice on my wrist. You don't have to do that. Whatever feels good for you to counter stretch. You can flex the left toes towards your face. You can shift the hips forward and back or side to side, just softening through the right thigh now. Getting a little hamstring stretch here. One more inhale and exhale. Rebend the left knee, blocks off to the side. Clench your palms, send your left knee back. Find your tabletop. Inhale, cow pose, tip the pubic bone forward, drop the belly, lift the chest. And this time, keep your cow pose, so keep your arched back, tuck your toes, and through the back bend of cow, lift up to down dog. So you already have the tilt of the pelvis. Lift the pelvis up high, finding this three-pointed triangle in downward facing dog. And you can walk it out, bend one knee, dropping the opposing heel. Shimmy your hips side to side, shake your head yes and no. Fluttering through the lips. 10 breaths here just to find your way into this down dog. Pushing forward through your thumb mounds, through the inner palms, pushing backwards, pulling backwards through the big toe mounds. Lift up out of the armpits, creating more space in your side waist. Really nice, everybody. 3 more breaths, finding stillness. One more inhale. And then on the exhale, you're going to walk your hands and feet towards one another and forward fold in the middle of your mat. And if you are one of my pregnant people, keep your feet pretty wide. I almost have my feet as wide as my mat because that's what feels comfortable for me today, but everyone should be at least hips distance with the feet. And then have your blocks nearby. If you do, does everyone have blocks? I think so. You can put your hands on blocks, or you can put opposite elbows, cupping opposite elbows. And I'm gonna put my blocks higher and put the opposite elbows on the blocks. And my head kind of rests on the forearms, and it's just really nice and releasing for the head and neck as you decompress through the spine and the low back here. Yeah. Keep the weight forward in the balls of your feet. Have the knees parallel. Head is heavy. You should be feeling this in your calves and your hamstrings and maybe all along the back of the spine. Big breaths here. Your lungs are the size of your thighs. And in this position, it's kind of like they meet. Your belly's going as close as it can go towards your thighs, and your lungs are trying to meet the thighs. So breathe as big as your thighs. Fill up that space of both lungs, filling up the front and the back and the sides, that circumference of your whole body. If you have opposite elbows, you can switch your grip. Opposite elbow, forearm on top. Ten more breaths. And yin, this pose is called dangling. So that's all we're doing here, even though it might feel like there's a fire in your calves. Dangling. Let the head dangle, let the shoulders relax. Relax the face. Last 3 breaths. One more inhale. And exhale. Either bring your hands to your blocks on the highest height or just tent your fingertips up on the floor. And then keep the weight in your legs. So we're not going to put them in the arms like down dog, but reach your arms forward as if you're going to dog, but you could lift the blocks up. You could lift your hands up at the moment. You're still in your legs. There's still a good bend in your knee. You're just reaching. And then take your arms, whether they're on blocks or not, for a walk to the right, like to 2 o'clock on the face of a clock. And pull your left hip back and feel this tug and this stretch from your left seat all the way up to your left wrist, this arch of your left side waist. One more breath in. And then on the breath out, listen closely. We're going to do a little turn. So bring the weight forward in the balls of your feet, almost like you can lift your heels. Walk your blocks even more to the right. You can watch me if you want to. Lift your heels up, spin on your toes, and turn around to the other side of your mat. So you're facing the back of your mat now, and your right leg is crossed in front of your left. Some of you might be able to really bolt at the upper thighs. This is an IT band stretch for your left leg. For me and for anyone else who's pregnant, I just kind of have the ball of my right foot crossed over the left, and my knee is bent to the right. So I'm still getting the stretch in your left side waist, but I'm not completely closed off in the thighs. We're not here terribly long. So both knees can be bent, but particularly you might want to bend the right knee. Getting the stretch from your left heel all the way up your left leg to your left seat. Your head can drop. This will feel really nice if you have sciatica in your low back or your seat. Take one more breath in. And then on the breath out, stay facing the way you're facing. Keep your right leg crossed over your left. Use your blocks if you want to, but make sure you're safe. And you're going to come down into a cross-legged all fours. So you lower your knees down carefully. Just for a moment, you're sitting cross-legged like this, and then you're going to sit all the way down on your butt. So I'll show you from the front. You might be facing the back of your mat, but your knees are crossed or your shins are crossed. So choose your destiny. Either you're sitting in a tight shoelace, it's called, where your right knee is stacked on top of your left knee, or a looser shoelace, which is double pigeon with your right shin on top of your left shin. Have blocks nearby or anything you want to fold forward with this eventually. And I'm actually going to take the blanket. You could put a blanket underneath your pelvis here as well, so that you're able to tip forward. And it's okay if you can't see me anymore in the camera. I'll do my best to just cue you, but you all look good. You're turning around, sitting in your shoelace, whether it's tight or loose. And before we fold it forward, arms to the side, I'm using blocks underneath my palms. You can, or you don't have to. And we're just going to side bend. So reach your right arm up and over your ear. Turn your chin to look under your right armpit and root your right seat to the floor. Getting all the space in the right side of you. One more inhale. Same for the exhale. Inhale, lift back up. Drop your right hand to the floor or block. Take your left arm over your head, getting this side bend. Root your left seat down, getting space here. One more breath in and out. Good. Arms out to the side just to grab the blocks if you have them, and then reach the arms forward. Gather whatever other props you want to use to fold forward in this pose and go for it. So this can be like a block or even two blocks under your forehead. You can build blocks for your elbows and hold your head in your hands like a kid watching TV, or you can stay upright with the blocks in your hands and just hinge forward a couple of inches. Every breath maybe taking you a little bit more forward, but you might not have much movement, and that's okay. Wherever you've landed, close your eyes. And be sure to come into these poses gradually. So if you're already at like 100% of where you can be in this pose, back out of it a little bit and take the time, these minutes that we have here, to get to that point. Where can you let go of tension, physically or mentally? Facial muscles relax. Breathing into the whole body, front, back, side to side. Maybe bringing back that mantra to help settle your mind. So hum, I am. With being here for some time, you might feel like you can lower down more. So if you want to ease into it further, you can. Otherwise, stay exactly as you are. You're a little over a minute left. Last 3 breaths. More inhale and exhale. Gradually start to blink the eyes open. Look forward out in front of you and crawl your way back up. You can bring the blocks with you if you had them on the side, sitting up tall for a second, just letting the blood rush back down. And then ditch the blocks off to the side, bring your hands behind you, bend the knees, plant your feet, and just windshield wiper the knees to sides. And then sit back up. And we're going to go right into shoelace on the other side. So it's the left knee on top or the left shin on top. So sit back up on your blanket. Find the props that you want. Yeah, left shin or left knee on top. Just making sure I keep that right. And then arms by your side for the side stretch first. Let's go left arm over your head. Root your left seat down. Turn your chin to your left armpit. One more inhale. And exhale. Inhale your left arm up. And then down to the side. Take your right arm over your head. Root your right butt down. Turn your chin to fit maybe into your right armpit. One more breath in and out. Inhale to come up. If you're using the blocks, bring them with you forward, setting up whatever props you want for your shoelace as you fold it. And pause for a second when you come forward at that first point where you feel the stretch in your hips, possibly mostly your left hip. And then feel yourself relax into it a little more as you come down again, not to 100%, not even to 50% yet. You're so slowly getting to your point of release here. So maybe it's elbows on the blocks, head in your hands, or maybe it's two blocks stacked under your forehead, or maybe you're just in a little bit of a lean forward. Relax the face, relax the shoulders, relax your glutes, even though you might be feeling them. Filling up the back lungs with breath. Maybe calling back in the mantra. Inhaling, so. Exhaling, hum. Maybe going a little closer to the floor, or a little further of a hinge from the hips. Settling into stillness if you've moved. 10 more breaths. Three more. Big inhales and extra long exhales. And then after your next exhale, look forward. Walk your hands back and sit upright. You can move your blocks out of the way. You can move your blanket out of the way. And then if you have a loose shoelace, if your shins are stacked, you're going to tie it tighter. So you're going to cross your left knee on top now, just for a moment, just so that you can roll over your shins and find your crisscrossed all fours. We're going to come out of this the way that you came. So your left thigh is crossed in front of your right, you're facing the back of your mat. Yep, and some of you are already there. Tuck your toes, lift your hips up. You can put the blocks into your hands and find this IT band stretch here. So now your left thigh is crossed in front of your right. Your left knee is bent. Maybe your right knee is also bent, but your left heel is probably lifted. If you're pregnant, you might be making a little more room for your belly by turning your left knee out to the side, but head is dropped and you're just targeting the IT band of your right leg. So from the right hip to the right ankle. The weight should be in your feet only. So if your hands are really far forward and you're feeling this like down dog, your legs are crisscross. Your left thigh is crossed in front of your left thigh and you're in this hang, like you're dangling. One more breath. And then keeping the blocks in your hands, you're going to turn to the right, completing this circle. You'll spin on your toes, turn to the right, spin on your toes until you're right back where you started, planting your heels down, heavy the head, fold and dangle and shake it out. Good. Bring the blocks to the highest height, find a half lift, inhale. And then exhale, release and gently make your way down to a seat. Extend the legs out in front of you and just sitting on the mat. Good. Bring your right foot inside of your left thigh. So butterfly your right knee, keep your left leg straight. I'm going to sit on the blanket again. If you have a bolster, you can take that bolster and put it exactly on top of your left thigh. If you have blocks, take a block and put it inside of your left thigh, left leg. You can keep a little bend in the knee. And then turn to your right. So you have this open twist towards your right knee. Your left leg is a little off to the left, so it's kind of on a diagonal. You're turned to the right, and then keep this idea of turning to the right as you reach your left hand to your left foot. Good. Right hand comes to your right thigh, root your right hip down. Either stay exactly like this, or if you got the bolster, you can put your left elbow on the bolster and hold your head. If you've got the block, your left elbow goes on the block and you hold your head. Yeah, Jessie has the block and the bolster, so she has this nice support for both. And you're just holding your head in your hands, rooting your right hip down and turning to the right. So you're feeling this stretch in your side waist as well as in your left leg. If you want to do a more active stretch with the arms, you can reach your right arm over your head as well. And do that for a few breaths and then you relax it down. Or you can half bind the right hand, which I've been enjoying, but do it yin style. Just do it kind of lackadaisical. You flip the palm around and tuck it in your pants just behind you. Just relax in a half bind. Yeah, if you have a pocket, you can use your pocket, but I literally just put it in the back band of the pants. So you have this chill half bind. Close your eyes. Breathing into the places where you feel this in your right side, in your left leg. You can relax your left toes and left ankle. Even inhales and long exhales. And breaths. Just over a minute. Last 3. One more breath in. And then out. We'll come out the way we came in. So if your right arm is bound, return it to your hip. And then use both hands to lift your head up. So push your right hand into your thigh, lift your head up with your left hand. And you're still kind of turned to the right. And then you'll face forward as a counter, just so that your hips and your vision face the front of the mat. And we'll go right into the other side. So extend your right leg out, sit back up on your blanket if you've slipped off. And then half butterfly your left knee out to the side, sole of your foot above the right knee. Gather your props inside of your knee or on top of the thigh. You can also, if you feel pain in the back of your knee or like you are prone to overstretch it, you can put rolled up socks or a ball under your knee. And then turn to your left, this open twist so your belly button turns towards your left knee. And then as you're turned, reach your right hand towards your right foot. So you're reaching to the right, but your torso is kind of twisted to the left. Left hand pushes your left hip down, so you just feel the groundedness of your pelvis. And then stay here or come down to your elbow, putting your right elbow on a block or on your bolster and holding your head in your hands. As you do this, you're rooting your left hip down, either physically with your left hand or just with your mind. And then your left arm can go elsewhere if you like it, over your head. You can reach actively or even just drape your elbow on top of your head here, or half bind it, flipping the palm and tucking it into your pants. Feeling this stretch in your left side as well as your right leg. Deepening the breath in order to deepen the pose for yourself. Coming at it with ease. Where can you surrender further, physically or mentally? Ten breaths. Last three. One more inhale and exhale. First, unbinding the left arm. Bring your left hand to your hip. Blink the eyes open and use both hands. Your right hand pushes your head up. Your left hand roots your lower body down. And then arms by your sides as you face forward. Move your props off to the sides. Extend both legs out in front of you. Sit up on your blanket. Coming into caterpillar, which is Paschimottanasana. So if you're pregnant, feet really wide, like as wide as your mat. Otherwise, feet hips distance. Anything you want to forward fold this in between your legs, bolster, blanket, or blocks. I even sometimes put my elbows under my knees for support and just lean forward like this. So this is a perfectly fine place to be. You could also do this and hold a block and put your head on a block. So as you're ready, come down. But you might just be leaning a little bit forward. Yeah, you might have a whole tower of blocks. Good. Simultaneously targeting both a stretch in the bottoms of your legs, so your hamstrings and calves, as well as your whole back. So it's okay to feel a little rounded in your spine here, as long as it's the low back that is trying to back bend. Up on the blanket, your pelvis tilts forward so that the space in your low back doesn't round. It's mostly a rounded spine from the upper back, which is okay. You're just mimicking the natural curves of the spine that you already have. 10 more breaths. Last 3. One more breath in and out. Looking forward. Start to make your way back upright. Sitting up nice and tall. And then we're going to end in Shavasana with Reclined Butterfly. So it's Supta Baddha Konasana on the back. If you're pregnant, I'm going to put you on an incline. So take 2 blocks in a bolster or 2 blocks in a blanket and build yourself this wall here. If you're not pregnant, everyone else just lie down on your back, feet together, knees apart. And then you can put anything you would like underneath your knees. So if you do have the ability to give yourself this incline, do so. Even if it's just, take that, Jenna. I'll help you in 1 second. Everyone else, yeah, perfect, Jenna. Lie on your back or in a diagonal on your back, feet together, knees apart. I have the 2 blocks in the bolster giving me the incline, and then I'm going to take the blanket and wrap it around my ankles and knees so that I have the support under the thighs. Yeah, in front of your ankles. Or yeah, that's good. Because you have 2. Yeah. Is that okay, Jenna? Thumbs up. Okay, good. So everyone is reclined in this butterfly, in this Supta Baddha Konasana. Hands can go anywhere. They can be on the body, they can be on the floor, face up. But this is our final pose, so take care to be warm and comfortable. No more effort, just held here in this position. Symmetrical. Right side and left side meeting together. Your yang and your yin. Just breathing in, and breathing out, out. Slowly coming back into your body, start to deepen your breath. Wiggle fingers and toes. Rock your head side to side. And then whether you're up on an incline or not, everyone close your knees, plant your feet, and lift the arms up, taking a stretch. You can pull your wrists apart. And then you're going to roll to your left side. So if you're on the bolster, just kind of shift your hips to the right a little bit and come onto your left side. And then everyone push up to sit comfortably. Eyes are heavy or cast down or closed. Sitting up nice and tall. Bring your hands together at the center of your chest, bowing slightly into your practice, into whatever it may hold for you. Maybe it's this stillness or a deeper breath, something physical that happened, or something subtle that you can't quite put your finger on yet. Folding forward as you're ready. Thank you all so much.